going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel, and hey, happy Friday. We're here today for the second episode of The Lost Lands of Golarion. Today, at the request of RJ Trezes, 1983, we'll be cracking open our copy of Distant Shores to cover Arcadia. If you have any requests for this series, as always, throw them in the comments. Be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Helps out a lot. Before we get underway, this episode of The Lost Lands of Golarion was brought to you in part by Joshua Pearson. Josh, thank you so much for your time and support. For anybody out there who might be interested in helping us out on Patreon, our link, of course, is in the description. Now, let's dive in. So, not a lot is known about Arcadia, much less of its early history. Its people were at least contemporaries of the Aslanti, as Arcadia entered a long period of isolation during the Age of Darkness after Aslanti forces attacked the continent's eastern shore. Those who have visited Arcadia describe it as a verdant, natural wonderland filled with stunning vistas and boundless resources, parts of it seemingly to be completely unclaimed by civilization. Even though most cartographers don't possess an accurate map of the continent, it is believed to be Golarion's largest landmass. That largest landmass is located 4,000 miles west of Avestan and Garund over the Arcadian Ocean. Because of the long and dangerous sea journey needed to reach it, leading either through the sea monster-infested waters around the sunken continent of Aslant, or the far north via a long chain of islands that connect Arcadia to the far northwestern parts of Avestan, few folk of the inner sea region have visited it, and fewer still return. The first recorded Avestani to reach Arcadia were elfin explorers under the leadership of King Ulvas of Kalsgard, in negative 473 AR. Millennia after the first Ulfin arrivals, the next Avestani settlers arrived in Aradis in 4679 as part of a Chelish colonization expedition that landed on the coast near the Degasi settlement, those are the natives, of Sagada. Soon after the arrival of the Chelish colonists and a separate band of Andoran colonists, the local nations enacted the Sagada Protocol to strictly limit and regulate Avestani colonization and exploration of Arcadia. Specifically, the Sagada Protocol laid out a set of rules governing how the nations of Arcadia would deal with this breach of their long isolation. Many elders pushed to continue the old practices, citing the bleak times just before the Age of Darkness when the Aslanti stormed Arcadia's eastern shores. Others pointed to the knowledge and power gained by working with the newcomers. After weeks of deliberation, the Sagada Protocol was established, and it permits only 3 Avestani settlements on Arcadia, on the condition that they maintain peaceful and supportive relations with the city of Sagada and any allied halfling or weirwood, the weirwoods are from Arcadia, settlements. No Avestani would be permitted within Sagada without proper paperwork, or descend the mountains into Arcadia's interior without an Arcadian guide, and a letter of endorsement from the Sagadan authorities. The 3 designated Avestani settlements could trade with Sagada, but they'd only be allowed to ship 15% of their income or goods back to Avestan. And present day, that's held. The Ulfin have Valenhall, the Chelish have Anchor's End, the Andoran settlement of Elsamare, and that's it. But that's not to say that's not the only people that ever visit the country. The floating gnome settlement of Gogpada occasionally drifts far enough westward to trade with the inhabitants of the continent's eastern coast. Yep, the gnomes have flying ships, and they've made it here as well. In addition, Arcadia is the home of the Syrinx, as well as the Skinwalker race, one of my favorite races. And we've covered Syrinx and Skinwalkers over at the Forgotten Race Review. If you'd like to learn more about those races, follow this card right up here to be directed to the playlist. Now, I've had the pleasure of being an adventurer in Arcadia for quite a long time in a campaign that has boiled down now to a House Divided, but it was a lot of fun to play a native Arcadian, to explore the mountains, to play one of those guides that lead the Ulfin around, because the flavor of Arcadia is really, really cool. Endless, bountiful expanses full of, really, things that are trying to kill and eat you, but that's neither here nor there. Everything from the journey to Arcadia to defending Sagada from a lot of things that attacked it over the course of that campaign was an amazing time, and I definitely recommend it to anyone. Now, if I were to GM in Arcadia, I could definitely say I've had a wealth of experience playing there. This is one of those places where the random encounter table really needs to come out, because it might be 2 or 3 or 4 weeks trekking through the wilderness between one settlement and the next, and who knows what's going to jump out at you. Of course, all places on Golarion have a real-life equivalent. Arcadia's is pretty easy. Arcadia is the New World. It's the Americas. We haven't heard anything about South America yet. But of course, obviously, South America is on the Americas, and if this is the biggest continent that we see on Golarion, you imagine if you drift a little farther south, you would find rainforests and coatls and awakened anthropomorphic jaguar warriors. Flavor's super sweet. Regardless, the Arcadia we have seen, again, is the New World. Take Eric the Red and his journeys across the sea to America, the city of Jamestown, and the city of Jamestown that worship devils, and their relations with the native tribes that lived in America at the time, and you found Arcadia. But what do you guys think about this place? Have you ever adventured here? Would you adventure in Arcadia? Be it along the region of Sagada, where the Native American analog lives, or maybe even farther south or farther north, where, you might find something like a Wendigo. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next episode of The Lost Lands of Golarion, where we cover Iblados, drops next Friday.